Hello, this is Emily, president of Self Advocates of ADEC and podcast host. Welcome to another episode of our monthly podcast, Expert Tips by ADEC Self Advocates. Today we have Chris Kingsley again.
Hey, Emily. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And today we are looking back at 2023. How would you feel when you think some accomplishments are from ADEC this year?
For 2023.
Last year.
Yeah, great question, Emily. And I might ask you the same thing here in a second. But, for me, there's a few things I look at for ADEC. One thing is we were able to be a lot more out in the community in 2023 after the pandemic. So I think that was a theme that I heard a lot throughout the whole year was things like Silver Bullets basketball, things like more, volunteering at various different other nonprofits, things like getting out to community events and sporting events and Special Olympics and a lot of different things. So that was a big piece of 2023. The other thing I would highlight is, from an ADEC standpoint, is the other big theme would be that we were able to grow our team, the team of employees at ADEC, and that really helps us be able to do things like get out in the community more. So after a severe staffing shortage throughout the pandemic, we were able to see a lot more people join the team, and I think that's helped us really deliver good services throughout the year.
I have noticed that there's more staff at ADEC now. I've definitely heard of the staff shortage.
I'm curious, do you notice a difference because of that?
Well, yes. But also, I went from this huge building to the hub.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like during that transition, I kind of noticed it a bit more. Some would leave, but some more will come in. When there's more staff, there's a higher chance we'll be able to go out into the community more.
That's wonderful to hear. That's exactly what we've been hoping for. And, I think we've seen that some. I'm glad to hear that you've seen that.
Yeah, it's great to see that growth.
So those would be a couple of things I look at. Do you mind me asking about how you feel about particular accomplishments for yourself in the past year?
Mm-hmm. Well, in the past year, for accomplishments I have done well, in general, Expert Tips has officially celebrated its first year anniversary.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say that's quite big for the podcast.
That's great. Yeah, you've been a real champion for self-advocacy.
I tried bouldering for the first time.
Tried bouldering? Wow. What is bouldering? I'm not sure I know what that is.
It's like an indoor rock climbing.
Oh, neat. So I'm curious, did you do that somewhere nearby, or were you traveling somewhere when you did that?
My parents, specifically when I say my parents, I mean my stepmom and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
They went over to Chicago.
Okay.
And when they were going to Chicago, I was going to Indianapolis to visit with my brother.
Okay.
And that's where the indoor bouldering was at.
That's great. It's fun to try new things. I think that's great to get new experiences like that.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably my goal for the year.
Good.
Or maybe even my resolution. I always want to try new things.
I love that.
Yeah, speaking of goals, does ADEC have any goals for 2024?
Well, great question. And, we sure do. A lot of goals. And, I think what I would highlight is, we have 5 ongoing goals that will continue to really drive our work in the year ahead. And those 5 goals are, we want to focus heavily on a great experience for people who work with ADEC, and also that they get truly excellent services. Second one would be we're always really focused. It's so important at ADEC that we have a great workforce and a great workplace. So, we want everybody who's employed at ADEC to be having a wonderful experience and to really bring their best to their work. The third thing would just be highest quality in terms of our services. Quality is such an important thing in the work that we do. If there's opportunities for growth, we're always sort of on the lookout for those. And when I talk about growth, I just mean, if there's something we can do more of that creates more of a difference in the community, we want to always be responsive to things like that. And then finally, we always want to make sure that we're being good stewards of resources and making sure that we're staying financially healthy as an organization. I'm excited for 2024. My personal, priority in leadership has been just to really focus on, how do we work well as teams within ADEC? How do we collaborate together? And how do we really work in the most healthy ways to accomplish our mission? So I think personally that will continue to be a focus, is just really working on how do we work together? Because I'm convinced that when people work together well, they can accomplish pretty amazing things. Yeah.
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 Yeah, there's like a lot of phrases that I would think of, like teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Or like quality over quantity.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I think teams can do pretty amazing things together when they really work well together.
Yeah, I completely agree. Did you personally make any resolutions? And if so, would you feel comfortable sharing them?
Yeah, so it's a great question, Emily, and I love kind of the end of the year and the beginning of the year, because I really do like to reflect on the past year, and I like to look forward to the new year. I don't make real specific resolutions typically. What I typically do is I have a few questions I kind of ask myself. So I as I look back, I think about, what were highlights or what really went well in this past year that I want to try and carry forward. So one example of that would be this past year, and in fact, this was inspired by ADEC. So during Picture Possibilities, one of the weeks is the fitness week. And so I had not run. I've done a lot of other forms of exercise, but I hadn't run in probably 13, 14 years. And that week in July, I got out and ran a few times. And that actually kicked me into, now I injured myself doing it, but then I recovered and I was smarter about how I got back into it. But I got back into running, and I've really enjoyed that and look forward to carrying that into 2024. That's been a great just way of, promoting health, and, running I've found can be a great way, and walking can be a great way of just, getting off some of the stress of life and resetting a little bit. What about you? Do you have resolutions that you're willing to or interested in sharing?
I think I shared one about always wanting to continue, wanting to grow, learn, try new things. But if I were to tell you another resolution, I would also probably say continue exercising.
Awesome.
I completely agree with about being active in general. Like, it really helps. We're all creatures of habit, but we're also our bodies are meant to move. They're not meant to hibernate like bears.
You're so right about that.
Even if you really do want to hibernate.
Do you find that when you exercise, you tend to feel better afterward?
Usually, yes.
I do too.
Thank you for coming, Chris.
Hey, it was wonderful being with you, Emily.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in and hearing from your neighbors with disabilities. Check out next month's podcast for a new guest and topic. I am Emily, host of Expert Tips by ADEC Self Advocates. See you next month.